good evening. It's Winning Wednesday. Welcome to March 1st. Welcome to Women's History Month. I know we just got done with Black History Month, and every month there's a theme. And yet I wanted to jump on here. Last month we talked about love and had couples on, and we had a lot of great feedback. People asked for another round. So we're getting it all together. We're going to pull in all those couples and do a round three somewhere down the road. But for this month, it's Women's History Month. And I am just honored to be a woman. I'm so glad God made me to be a girl because I just am. And I like to celebrate women. And so this month, I wanted just to feature and highlight folks that maybe we don't get to talk to or see. So I'm just so honored to have our first guest on tonight. And I'm going to read her bio and we're going to get in there because she has done some juggling to be here with us tonight. So want to make sure that we get to hear from her. And just take note because in future weeks, we're going to have some educators we're honoring and celebrating, as well as some folks who you've seen in the media, some successful business folks who've made a presence in the social media world. So we're going to have some good folks lined up. So I invite you to get it on your calendar, be here, invite others to be here with us, and it's going to be good. So let's jump into this. Women on the bench. And my guest tonight can definitely talk about it. And she's a trailblazer and has done some amazing things. So I want to bring her on and I want to read her bio to you because it is impressive. And I want you to know who we have here. So I'm reading, that's why I'm looking down. So the Honorable Judge Shannon B. Baldwin, she practiced law for over 22 years prior to becoming a judge. And I didn't know she had practiced that long. So this is very cool. She's licensed in 2 states, both Georgia and Texas. And she practiced law in Atlanta, Georgia for 4 years before returning to Texas. Judge Baldwin is a former prosecutor and she opened her law practice in Texas in 2003. She was formerly a partner at Baldwin, Williams and Associates, PLLC. And she's tried cases before a jury from everything from traffic violations all the way up to capital murder. So she definitely is experienced and has seen the full gamut. Currently, she's serving her second term as the elected presiding judge of Harris County Criminal Court at Law number 4. In addition to her regular docket, Judge Baldwin presided over one of 5 misdemeanor sober courts, assisting individuals with alcohol and drug addictions. Currently, she is a presiding judge of the misdemeanor veterans courts for veterans in the criminal justice system with dual concerns, and that includes addiction, PTSD, as a result of serving our country. In her first 2 years on the bench, Judge Baldwin was the local administrative judge for all 20 misdemeanor courts in Harris County. So she is a true leader as well. And she was further honored to be one of the, I jumped ahead. Additionally, Judge Baldwin is an adjunct professor. So all the hats she wears, she's an adjunct professor. And she is that adjunct professor at Thurgood Marshall School of Law and also Texas Southern University, as well as Alvin Community College. Judge Baldwin was the first African-American woman to run and preside as an open member of the LGBTQIA community in Harris County. She was further honored to be one of the Houston 19, and you all maybe read about it, you heard about it. It was so exciting. And that was the largest group of African-American women to run for judge in Harris County, the 3rd largest county in the whole United States. Judge Baldwin joined the U.S. Army Reserves on September 23rd, 1987. And upon graduating from college, she was commissioned as an officer, 2nd lieutenant. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Law Enforcement and Police Science at Sam Houston State University. I know a whole lot of folks know about Sam, and you have a lot of stars there. And she went on to graduate cum laude from John Marshall Law School in Atlanta, Georgia, earning her Juris Doctorate. And Judge Baldwin is an active member, something I know about, of several professional organizations, but one of which is she's a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a public service organization, public service sorority. And last but certainly not least, she is the proud mother of a beautiful 5-year-old girl. And because she's taken time out of her schedule, momming and doing everything she does, hanging with friends, she is here tonight and we're going to get right in it. So help me welcome the Honorable Judge Shannon B. Williams to the virtual stage here tonight. Hey.
Hey.
How are you? It is so
I'm great. I am great. This is wonderful.
Well, and thank you. Thank you for joining in and being with us tonight. This is going to live on forever and people will get to listen and watch. And so what you're going to share, I know is going to bless us and encourage us. So thank you for being here as we kick off Women's History Month. I've got some questions and I welcome you to just kind of chime in and share as you are just giving us some thoughts around some things. So one of the first questions I want to ask you, I mean, as an attorney for a long, long time, what drew you to the law profession? Talk about that, please, the legal profession.
Well, first, let me thank you. You've been thanking me, but anytime we have an opportunity to share and encourage other people to whatever degree that I can, that's always a blessing. So I thank you for the opportunity. No one has to call you to make you special or anything like that. So I'm very appreciative.
Thank you.
Um, of course, of course. Now, what drew me to the legal profession? I don't know that I ever thought of anything else.
Hmm.
um I didn't have, because a lot of people have those Perry Mason moments, or they have those Maverick moments. They love those shows. I never enjoyed any of those shows, anything like that on TV. I quite frankly never had anyone in my family that was an attorney that could sort of pave the path for me.
Hmm.
It really was just something I was drawn to organically, and happened to be in the best place at the right time, to blaze that path for myself. So I wished I had that kind of story to tell like that. I really didn't, but I was drawn to it.
Okay.
And in each turn and path where I had to make a decision, right, in which direction I would go. um it was just something that I was just naturally drawn to, that
Hmm.
led me to this place today.
So no kind of experience where some friends or family had encountered the law and you thought, I'm going to go and I'm going to get that together and fix that. It was just something that was always in you from way back, is what I hear you saying.
Really, as a kid in high school is probably the first time I started thinking about um going to law school or something to that effect. I'll say this though: I initially thought I would be a police officer, or potentially something like going joining the FBI or something like that.
Hmm.
And I did. There was an event where someone, a police officer, was shot and killed, and I'm smiling, but that was not what that's about.
Yeah.
But that happened, and my reaction was, "Oh, that's likely not the job for me."
Okay.
So the next thing I know, I saw a sign in the library at my college where it said LSAT intensive review. I pulled that down and signed up to take the LSAT, and before I knew it, that was my new path.
That was it for you.
So
Okay.
tragedy turned me,
Yeah.
someone else's tragedy turned
Yeah.
me in a direction of something that has really been my lifelong passion.
Gotcha. That's really cool. It's passion. I love hearing that. So, what inspired you to run for the bench? You'd been practicing law for a long time. You're able to practice in two states. What drew you to the bench?
Many people, our memories are short, but many people probably don't realize what Harris County used to be. Uh,
Mm.
Harris County led the nation in the number of wrongful convictions. The
Hmm.
nation. We
How
also
long ago was
led.
that? How long ago was that?
I've only been on the bench now. This would be my fifth year. So we're
Okay,
talking 5 years ago, very short period of time.
that's not long at all.
We led the nation in wrongful convictions. We led the nation in executions that likely or could possibly have been wrongful convictions. Um, and so it was a place that was very oppressive. It was a place that was difficult from my perspective, being a criminal defense attorney, to really represent your clients to the fullest and try to do some good for them.
Hmm.
Um, and people think that's strange to say that, because obviously I was working in a criminal courthouse,
Right.
but the mentality really in the courthouse, and it trickled out into the community, is that if you're in a criminal courthouse, you must be guilty, when that
Mm-hmm.
could not be further from the truth.
Hmm.
We are innocent unless we're proven guilty. And
Hmm.
note the word unless, because if you say innocent until, the until presumes it's going to happen
Right.
unless we're proven guilty. So that means that you're entitled to a strong, zealous defense. And it was difficult to do that with the level of, I will say, oppression and
Mm.
customs that were part of that legal system at that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I knew that I just had it up to here. There was
Okay.
nothing else I could do, I thought, as an attorney, and that was just it. I said, I've got to run.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other answer at that point. So either I was going to stay in that situation or retire or try to make a difference.
That's insightful. So, from your point of view, as an attorney, on in one part of the courtroom, you were seeing some things and decided, I want to make a difference. I want to do something, and I can't keep doing it in this role. So I need to go forward. Then, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
It
cool.
was, I mean, it's what we were used to. Okay.
Right.
But it was bad and it was wrong. um
Hmm.
we did bail bond reform, and people have really a true misunderstanding of what that was. But if you could imagine having to stay in jail because you can't pay a $500 bond,
Mm.
and instead of writing it out to fight your case, you plead guilty
Yeah.
because that's the only way you can get out to save your family, save your house,
Mhm.
save your job.
Right.
That was routine.
Mhm.
And people don't realize the difficulty it is when you have a conviction. You can't get an apartment, you can't get student loans. It really affects your life tremendously. You can't find
Mhm.
good jobs. It doubled down on what was already a problem for people who were already likely low income, and their options were limited to begin with.
Right. So
So
is are you seeing it out being now on the bench, fifth year? You starting to see things change, or are we making inroads?
I
What's
think we
happening?
made inroads the moment we got there. We turned it upside down.
Yeah.
That's why this past election was as tumultuous, I'll say, as it was, and people begin to villainize judges, but the truth of the matter is we knew why we were being put in the spotlight in the manner that we were. It's because we were doing some good. It's because now people who did not have the financial means, which oftentimes meant Black and brown people, weren't going to be criminalized uh, just because of who they were, how they looked, right?
Hmm.
And they were going to be given a fair shot. And
Hmm.
so when you start to do that and change the system like that, you become the target, and that's okay. We ask for it. We ask for it. And so we wear those targets. That's all right. But it's our responsibility to follow the law and make sure that it is equal to everyone.
Hmm. Hmm. That's great. And so the collective, I'm saying the collective, the 19 coming in, and it's great one or two judges, but a whole group of folks, and
Yeah.
that can really is and has been powerful and impactful in terms of you know turning the tide and making a shift and directional change there. So that's really huge. And so talk about what are some of the challenges maybe in the journey of getting to the bench, or things that you all do experience day to day. I look at it and I go, oh, a judge, that's like cush job. That's like everything. Are there challenges you experience? And I ask that because this whole thing is about winning without perfection or permission. How do you make it happen every day in all that you do? So, any
It,
challenges in the journey or what you experience day to day?
it's challenging every day. You have to make decisions where people's lives are on the line, right?
Mhm.
And they're in my hands. So I really have to trust that, we're making good decisions based on the law, based on the circumstances that are provided to us. So that's a tough thing to begin with. The politics around it is unfair and yet an unfortunate part of the job. It is the part that I like the least. I don't like it at all, for that matter. That is a distraction and an interference with actually doing what should come natural to a judge. Meaning, we are neutral parties in the situation, so it's
Mhm.
not natural for us to have to pick a side, right?
Mhm.
Politics require you to sort of take a stand, and we are the unique parties who actually can't take stand. We can't do that, so that makes it really, really difficult. And we are approached in political ways for things that just are beyond us. And
Mhm.
so it is a daily fight to remain in a judicial impartial place in and amongst everything that happens around us. And you would be surprised, judges have a lot to do with the policy of how our county works. We have a lot of input in that. But, well, we fight to maintain our input in that because we have to protect the judiciary and the judicial system.
Mhm.
So we really fight to protect it and make sure that other aspects, other parts of this political engine are not trying to get in and control what happens in the courtroom.
That's interesting. And so we have a question. It's my daughter, actually. She's saying, how do you stay true to yourself and the court as well?
You know, the way to do that is to simply follow the law. See, that's the beauty of it, right?
Okay.
We don't make the laws. We simply follow the law.
Hmm.
So staying true to myself is really not compromising that in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, are there things that I may not necessarily agree with? Absolutely. But after 22 years, what I do know is how to separate my personal feelings and thoughts from what my job requires me to do,
Okay.
you know?
That's good. So there's the law. You're following the law. Again, you may not agree with it personally, but this is the law, and that's what you're following, and that allows you to do your job. So that's good.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So I know very little about the courts and the judicial system, local government and such. But what do you want us to know and do as it relates to our local governments and how we should be informed and the things that we should be doing that maybe we're not?
You know, I find now that I'm in this space, and I'll tell you this. I don't even know that I knew before I ran how I knew how it worked, but I truly didn't understand the day to day and how each branch of even local government works to affect our daily lives, right? So we have, say, the commissioners courts, the county commissioners, with County Judge Lena Hidalgo. That's like our executive branch. So that's like the president, right?
Okay.
Um, then you have Congress, right? So we do have state legislatures, right?
Right.
Those are the people that make the law. Um, and then of course you have state. Well, actually, you even have county, and this same kind of structure works all the way up from the president, Congress, and then the Supreme Court. Well, it works the same way in your local government, right? You've got also the governor of Texas. He would be the executive branch. Every judge is a part of a judiciary. We are an equal branch of government,
Mhm.
right? A lot of people think that judges work for Lena Hidalgo, the county judge, right? It sounds weird, right? But
It really
it,
does. And that whole thing, there's a judge, but does she reside over something? Does she?
it is a name. She does not have a court. Well, she has a commissioner's court, if that is the way to say it. But
Okay.
oh, my lights went out.
Oh,
So right, so she has a court, a commissioner's court, but they really work on our budget,
okay.
right? And they control that situation and things that happen for county, how the county runs. And again, the judiciary is a separate part of that. That's something I really wish people um, understood, and then understand, like I said before, how we help to control what happens in the judiciary and to make sure that other entities are not interfering with that. We
Mhm.
fight vigorously to ensure that no one is trying to have an improper influence on what we as judges do.
Okay.
We want to maintain our independence so that we can always remain neutral,
Mhm.
because that trickles down to the people on a daily
Mhm.
basis, right? You want to walk in and know that uh some industry can't come and pay a judge to rule in a certain way,
Mhm.
right? Right, we fight to make sure that those influences don't come into the judiciary.
Okay. And so then you've given us some insights and structurally, we all middle school, high school went through our classes, our civics classes, but we're away from it unless we're actively involved in politics and paying attention. It can certainly get past us.
Yeah.
So any key things that we all should be doing, being very involved with today as it relates to our local government?
A few things. Judges run for office. A lot of people don't think that we run every 4 years. So everyone says, "Oh, the Houston 19, a Black Girl Magic, y'all won. That's great, you're judges." But we run every 4 years.
Okay, just
So
just like, yeah, presidential
right. So
election.
we need your continued support. Also, support the judges. First of all, do your research, because every judge is going to have some type of website or something like that so that you can see what they're doing. Because really, what we do in between elections is public service.
Mm,
We support other organizations that align themselves with things that we may believe, both personally and professionally. So it's important to support judges for that reason,
mhm.
to continue to support them. Also, and it was in the news, so I'm not saying anything new, but there's this lawsuit going on where judges were actually sued. Some also other elected officials were sued based on this last election.
Mhm.
Um, and the reason I kind of went into how we have these different entities and what the judiciary does, for sure, what is that the judiciary does not run elections. We don't
Right.
have anything to do with that. We go and vote just like you all do,
Mhm.
except running for campaigns.
Right.
But obviously, the plaintiffs in this case have some problems with, or have expressed some concerns with this past election. They file lawsuits. Many of the people that they file lawsuits against have been um, judges, and I will say this, like more minority judges. Okay.
Okay.
Um, what is unique about judges is that they are in a position of having to finance their defense
Mm,
personally.
mm.
So they can only do so much. You never really raise as a lot of money as a judge. So you can use your campaign funds, but when that runs out,
Then
you're
what?
literally paying for a lawsuit, your representation, out of your pocket. And this is for things that occurred that you had nothing to do with, but
Okay.
you are the person that is called to defend it and a part of that lawsuit. I would encourage people to, if you thought of a judge, you like the judge, check on them, and inquire if they're one of those defendants, and then try to support them financially, because that is quite an amazing thing to have to go to court and defend, literally, likely thousands upon thousands of dollars for something you really, you're a byproduct of what happened, but you don't even know.
Right.
But you got to pay for it. And
Right.
so I've been shouting it, to everybody, please find out, reach out. And the only reason I'm not listing names is because I can't endorse people, and I can't fundraise for people. So I can't tell you that, but I can tell you that this is happening. And if you found yourself in any way, shape, form, or fashion previously supporting a judge, reach out to them and see
Circle
if they
back. That's what I hear you
circle
saying.
back and
Yeah.
support them. So
So a
that
couple
is
of key
huge.
things for all of us. Yeah. Being aware, not just kind of one and done. Ooh, the 19 made it, and that's good. We don't think about judges overall ever again. Remember, it's an elected position, so we need to be voting all the time, and staying in touch, being aware, visiting websites, offering support in the ways that we can for each of you all. So that's good. Thank you for helping us. We've just got a short period of time, and I want to ask you a couple final questions. One is this: if we find ourselves in court, whether it's yours or somebody else's, what are some things you want the people to know? What should we do? How should we behave in court? What are some key things to come to court prepared with?
I'm a firm believer in getting good representation. Okay. I'm a judge. Before that, I was an attorney. But even if I had a legal problem, I always had an attorney. That's
Okay.
not always easy to do. I understand that those things cost, um, but so much could be lost to you if you don't have someone there securing your rights or at least knowing what to ask for. Because the other side, they don't have to do that for you.
Right.
So especially in a criminal court. And if you're in a criminal court and you can't afford to hire one can be appointed to represent you. I know people really don't like the idea or the concept of having an appointed attorney.
Right.
I can only speak for my court, right? For sure. But
Right.
I'm comfortable in saying that when people come into my court and you're represented by an appointed attorney, um, those people know that they're responsible for doing the right thing.
Hmm.
Okay. They know that they have to answer to a judge, and we don't just let anything happen.
Okay.
Okay. I can't account for bad attitudes or people that you may not like, you just don't get along. That's something totally different. But from a legal perspective, we're going to make sure that the right thing happens. Okay. So
That's
I would
good.
tell anybody, don't be afraid, get an attorney.
So you're represented, so you're advocated for. There's somebody who can really speak
Right.
on your behalf. Yeah, I think that's really
Absolutely.
important. Get the representation. That's good. So that's good guidance for us. Here's where I want you to pull it together, because this idea of winning without perfection or permission, um, in life, in our businesses, how do we make it all happen, and do so gracefully, and kind of move through the day. So you wear many hats. You're a mom. You're a community advocate, you're a public servant, you're fully duly employed, and touch many lives. Like, how do you make it all work? How do you do that? Because somebody's going to watch or listen and go, I'm trying to keep all the balls in the air. How does she
Yeah.
do it? What do you
You
do?
have to have help. And I am humbled every day by what I do. Number one, I'm in a position of to be able to help a lot of people, and I'm very grateful for that. There is something you did before we started, which was to say a prayer. I want you to know that every day before I get on that bench, I say a prayer
That's good.
because I don't do it on my own.
Yeah.
And I need that help, that grace, that wisdom, and that discernment, which is what I pray for before I step on that bench. That 19, those ladies, when we're together, we pray
Oh, that's
before
so.
we start to do anything. I have a group within that group that are some of my really close friends. And when we do things together, the first thing we're going to do is pray first.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not trying to take people to church or anything, but listen,
You
you
just
have
take us.
to
I say, if you didn't make Bible study on Wednesday, you get it here. So take us.
you have to have a foundation or something to lean on because so much comes at you. So much comes at you in ways that you could not even imagine. I have
Mhm.
experienced some things just as being a judge outside of that, um, that I would not wish on anyone.
Mhm.
But I bring it back to I have a purpose, and I feel as long as I'm walking that path and God is with me, I'm gonna make reach that purpose every day. The rest
Mhm.
of it is just good planning and time management and a
Mhm.
lot of help. I have a great family. They are very supportive. So that's how I can be here and not necessarily be at home taking care of my daughter. I just have good support.
That's good. That's good. So we can't do it by ourselves, and you don't even try to
No.
purport to do that. So having a great
Mm-mm.
foundation, absolutely praying, having a circle. I hear you saying you have a strong circle, the 19, and then even within there, you
Yes.
to have help, you have to be humble enough to ask for help and receive it. So
Mm-hmm.
I hear all of those things. And for anybody who's listening, or you'll be listening later, your life, like all of ours, we're juggling, we're trying to do this, and not trying to be perfect, but do our best. And notice Judge Baldwin also talked about purpose. So doing all that we do, and it's in alignment with our purpose and pursuing that. So that's good, good, good guidance for us. I just want to wrap up by asking, are there ways that we can support you? I mean, visiting your website, doing anything like that, just to see things that you have going on, what is happening with you, and then any parting words for anybody who's on or will be listening.
So okay, how to support me? Go to my website, www Shannon Baldwin, the number four, judge at .com. So Shannon Baldwin for judge.com. And there's a donation button on there. If you click the donation button, I can still collect donations through March 8th. past March 8th, it's over for me for the next 4 years. We use that money, like I said, to support Shannon Baldwin for Judge.com.
My apologies. Okay, we'll fix that. Judge for
we
judge.
we use we use those funds to support, again, like-minded organizations, for a number of things. That's how, when people ask me to donate, that's how I donate to them and support them. So that those things are important. It's greatly appreciated, by the way. um Now, what was the
Oh,
last part you said? Closing
oh, just
words.
any parting words for us. That's all.
Something I didn't say, and I'll try to say it rather quickly. You mentioned something about, like, the 19 and how it all started, and I'm not
Mhm.
sure I shared it. Truth be told, we say, and this is why we pray every time, is that we believe we were divinely brought together, because none of us planned showing up in a room to run for judge together. That was the
Wow.
first time it had ever happened, and we didn't plan it. We literally walked into a room, and there were 19 of us, and we were amazed that
Wow.
that many people made that decision at that time.
That's cool.
And nearly all of us had been discouraged and told not to run.
Mm.
So it drew us together closer. And we
Hmm.
knew that if we let our public know what we were doing, and the number that was coming together, that they would support us. And that truly happened. So we believe that was divine intervention. We have always given God the praise for bringing us together and keeping us together.
That's
So,
so, yeah.
again,
So it
taking you
wasn't,
back to
nobody
church, but
orchestrated it. Nobody said, "Hey, I want everybody to run." You all showed up and you're there, and that speaks to. I'm going to go back to what you said about, your purpose. I think each one of you said, "I'm called to do this. I'm going to do it now." And then, wow, look around the room. Look at who's here, and then coming together, locking arms, and saying, "Let's go forward." That's pretty cool. I didn't know that's how it all came together. That's great.
yeah, no plan. People thought we planned it. No, many of us didn't even know each other.
Really? I thought you planned it because I was loving all the photos. It's like
We
they got.
planned the photo, but we didn't know each other before then.
Isn't that something? That is something. So I'm going to take from there, like, follow your purpose, like, do what you're called to do, and then you'll find yourself in spaces where others are doing the same, and you can draw
That is
strength from
true.
there. So that's really,
You
really
are
good.
great at the wrap up. Look at you. Thank you. That is wonderful.
This is what I'm called to do. I'm called to be a curator of content and pulling people together to just highlight and show, you know what, here's real people. So Honorable Judge Shannon B. Baldwin, thank you for being here and just allowing us to get to know you better and hear your heart and your purpose and your passion, and you giving us some guidance to know how we should maneuver through the courts, and just getting some nuggets to be able to help us keep living intentionally. So I'm going to let you go. I know your daughter's probably like, "Where's my mom?" if she's not already in bed, and I don't want her to be upset with me. So thank you for being here. Watch your email. I'm going to hit you with something. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. If you all will just say thank you in your own way. I know that people will check this out later, and so you'll get to see that. But thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. Have a great evening. Be safe. Thank you so much. Okay.
Yes. Thank you again. Thanks to all
You're
of your
welcome.
listeners.
Oh, you're so welcome. Good night. Okay, take care. Hey, everybody, thank you for being on. I know some may pop in later and check it out. Some may be at the rodeo, be wherever you are, and that's a-okay. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you for supporting Winning Wednesday. This month, Women's History Month, I'm featuring some other folks, so be on the lookout. I have a few surprises if I can make them happen. The goal, we want to win without perfection or permission. So we don't have to hesitate. We don't have to second guess ourselves. We can go forward in what we're called to do, and do that with intention and do that with passion. Okay. So I will see you next time, and take care. Have a great evening. Good night.